On.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
And I have a treat for all of you. I don't know if some of you have been to some of my past PDP presentations, but you don't want to go back to them. They have not necessarily been the most upbeat, or the most exciting, or the most triumphant. Expositions to witness. Now, this afternoon, that is not the case, because this has quite possibly been the best semester of the fellowship experience that I have yet to partake of. And so I have a couple interesting sort of things to talk about as far as what I accomplished, and then some things about the future. So first is this number 13, which I realized just now is not necessarily a lucky number, but it says a 13% increase in personal efficiency. And what do you care about personal efficiency? Well, let me tell you that as the fine keeper of Grant Pesca's awesome time tracker, I started encoding the quadrants, which Juan has taught about. I'll just leave it to Juan's training to remember. And so basically, the efficiency is saying that when I look at the amount of time that I have working on projects compared to the amount of time that I have doing other things. So in the fall, 80% of my time that I was at work, I was working on projects. This past semester, it's been closer to 90. And then when I did all the math and things, it came out to 13%. And so it has a lot to do with mitigating the Q4 activities. And so this is just sort of a little bar graph, because my friends, bar graphs are the best way to track data. If you did not know that, because our brains can track and compare length much better than they can angles. And so if you look over here, in the fall, Q2 was here, and then this is for the spring. I've also managed to kind of turn a lot of that unproductivity into more productivity and doing more projects and tasks. Q1 is the quadrant of due dates and emergencies, and then Q2 is development and planning. So that's how we go. And so if this was all the time that I was wasting, all of my garbage time in the fall, this is my garbage time in the spring. Isn't that great? Can you do it again? Look at that. This is how you improve your efficiency as a person. And I wasn't even like trying to go through this, but just out of the discipline of keeping track of my time. And you know, there was a cost involved. In the fall semester, I spent about 4% of my time doing admin activities. In the spring semester, it was 7%. So for 3% of my time, I get half the waste removed by keeping track and being able to better manage. That's what I equate that to. So that, to me, was exciting, and I was sort of surprised. I thought that like 20% of my time just sort of was going to perpetually be lost. And so to get some of that back was an exciting thing. And I think when I look at comparing the fall semester to last semester, in the fall semester, this is what I was trying to do. I had all these balls up in the air. I had a lot of side projects that took up 30% of my time away from my prescribed duties. And so I transitioned into January. I was able to focus on one ball. I was able to hit that one ball out of the park, if you know what I mean. And that one ball was then called programs analysis. It's sort of become more systems development, coupled with programs analysis, building the systems, you know, through the computers and things. So my first endeavors have been in Google Sheets. I've been using it as a development platform, which has been a great learning experience. So this is the training camp portal. If any of you who have not been able to see it, this is just a quick tour. So everyone in training camp has one of these with their own name up here at the top. And then they can customize and look at different views. We have an attendance view, which tracks all kinds of attendance data. If they have personal days, if they're late, on time, if we need to cancel class, we do all sorts of functionality here. And then some calculations for this is the week view. So we can look and see all sorts of information right there, easily accessible for the staff to particularly know who's missing today and how can we find them. And we have other information. This scrolls down. If we were in the live application, it would continue down. This just has leader information stored there. We have some other reports where it has all the leaders on the side, and then there are other data here for different kinds of reports that we can run. And that has been great because it's done. Every once in a while, something breaks and I have to fix it. But we, as Juan affectionately likes to call, have baked this system. We put it in the oven, it's turned into a muffin, and now we're enjoying delicious muffins. And something that's been great about this is I've gotten to flex a little bit of 4D here, and I've been handing this system off primarily to Alex, the training camp staff, and I've been able to walk him through the system. He really shows great aptitude for being able to go in and sort of monitor some of the minor things that can go wrong, like if someone signs in too many times, been able to teach him how to correct that, how to enter in all of the personal days or infractions or different kind of things. So I've been able to hand that off to him, and he's been doing a great job, and so that's been working really well. So other things I've been able to develop is I've been working with the case management end of things. So we have our 3 sort of stages. We have recruitment, which is Jeff, training camp, and then case management is sort of how I've been breaking them up systematically, as I try to create the data system to support the whole organization working together. So this is for them to keep track of their case notes. They kind of come up here, and then we have user information here. So when you fill out forms and things, when I have to fill out forms, the idea is that they come to something like this and it can be useful. Then we have the lovely PDP. That I was able to get mostly done. All I had to do is plug everything into the direct reports so that they can see and have these systems talk back and forth to each other. So these things sort of, I wasn't expecting when I came to the fellowship to be building systems in Google Sheets. I wasn't even expecting to be more than like a hobbyist sort of programmer. But that's sort of been the path that God has opened the doors down, and I've enjoyed it a lot and had great success, and many of you have told me lovely things about what you think of my programs. Oh yes, this is also in the PDP. If you don't know, when you go to your PDP page, if you zoom out, you see all of this. So this is all the organizational objectives, which you can find conveniently if you scroll out. Oh dear, that was the wrong button. Okay. And so, as I was looking through, these systems that I've currently been able to create have been able to help 35 staff members, 89 leaders, many or some of them have dropped out, but that's in the system. There are 89 leaders registered, and 36 allies currently have been served by these systems. There's a sign somewhere in there that I didn't need to work out so my fingers shrink. But anyways, so this is the point. You see he's pointing. This is the turning point of my presentation. As we transition from what we have done to what the future looks like. Because the systems I've been making, they're just not going to cut it. Like these rusty shears here, they're just not the right tool for what we need going forward to truly support the nature of our organization. A gentleman named Ed Beery, who's sort of becoming a mentor of mine, he's been helping us with the Salesforce project, likes to refer to what I have been, he says, I'm very impressed with what you've been able to make with bubblegum and baling wire, referring to my Google Sheets, which is a high compliment from Ed because he knows his stuff. But again, it's like, bubblegum and baling wire. This is not a sustainable system for those who are endeavoring to be a world-class organization. So it's nice that we have some cool, nifty rides to, our bus is looking pretty great, but let's be real. We need a bus, y'all. Amen? Amen. And so, we have been on a journey to find our bus. And let me tell you folks, we have found the Cadillac of buses. Our interior designer, we're in communication with them. But the other day, this bus is Salesforce. And let me tell you, it is nice. I was sort of on a whim the other day, just poking around the developer access of Salesforce and just clicking on links and following where they go, and I found the 300-page instructions on how to start building custom apps. And we've been contracting with the company, and so I figured this was like some hard, unreachable thing. But no, the manual is right there, and it's ever so graspable. So I was able to start building the structure for what I believe that we could use and be very functional for us as an organization to track the data we need for the people at the different stages we need them in. And I think it's going to be easier than I had further anticipated. And then there's another program that I've been working with Joel Steidel called Drupal. And there's some things that Salesforce just isn't up to snuff on, particularly like attendance. And so I think between Salesforce and then using Drupal, they can talk to each other and be very seamlessly integrated. So I think for things that we need like training camp attendance or family gatherings or other things, to be able to build apps in Drupal and have them work with Salesforce so that all our data can be gathered and mingled together to carry forth that way. In addition to all of the lovely developing I get to do, some of you may have noticed that I've been spending a lot of time with the internet over at Clayton, and so one of the discussions of my future with the organization has been in an IT capacity,